What's up, guys? I'd like to dedicate this video to the beginners of chess, someone who has like little to no experience to chess and would like to get into chess. Um, so we have, of course, if you start a game of chess, you have, of course, these pieces which are on opposite sides of the board, and of course you have your pawns and the rooks on the outsides, the knights, bishops, and queen and king. And of course, the pawns are the most sacrificial ones. They usually die first in the games. Well, not usually, but they usually don't play any significant role. The goal is to get them to the other side of the board if you can. And of course, most of them will be captured before they can get to the other side, but that's okay. And of course, the rook and the other pieces have more of a significant role in the game. So, as you begin, you would like to maybe to know that the center squares, these four center squares, are quite important. That's like the basic area of the game, and around that it becomes less and less impactful. So the outside is less impactful than the center of the board. It's a good thing to keep in mind. And also something to keep in mind is that the knight and the bishop are actually less important pieces. The most important that I've learned from a video is that the rook and the queen are the three most important pieces of the game. So if you lose a knight or a bishop by mistake, or you need to sacrifice a knight or a bishop, don't lose hope. Just know that they are not that important anyway. Of course, the pawns are the least important. And if you get a pawn to the other side, you can promote it into a more important piece. But the knight and the bishop usually not that important. So let's those are the basic things, I would say. Let's jump into a game actually, and let's see if I can explain these basic things in an actual game. Alright, here we go. So how I usually start is I go to the center with my pawn. And my opponent goes here. Now I could play my knight over here to attack this pawn, or I could play my pawn over here. It does mean that this pawn will be undefended, so that the opponent can play his pawn here, but in response to that I can play my knight not over here, by the way. In response to that I can play this pawn maybe here to get this pawn defending it, but for simplicity's sake, let's just go ahead and do what I always do most of the time in this position, is just play this pawn over here. That way I get a nice aligned pawn structure. My opponent does the same, and this means that if this pawn gets captured, I can just use this pawn to defend it. This pawn gets captured, I can use this pawn to defend it as well. And now I could go for a direct attack on the queen with my bishop, but if my queen captures it, there's nothing that can capture the queen back. So what I'm going to do is just, again, standard opening play. I'm gonna play my knight over here, and my opponent plays this pawn over here. What I could do is play my knight over here, And if the bishop decides to capture my knight, I can of course use my pawn to capture the bishop. And I'll lose a knight, but I'll take a bishop from him. And of course the knight is not that important. Not as important as the queen or the rook, so I guess I'd be fine with that. What I also could do is of course play this knight over here. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and play this knight. So if he decides to push, I can actually take the pawn back. Take the square. So okay, he goes for that, that's fine. Let's see, now I can actually go for an attack on the queen here. It's probably what I will do. Let's see what happens. What's that? So if he captures this, I can actually capture back with my knight. What he'll probably end up doing is to push this pawn over here, and I'll have to push my knight, my bishop back. Alright, so I played this. Now what I'm going to do is defend this square even more by playing my queen over here. Now this square is defended by my queen and my knight. If he decides to capture the bishop with his bishop, I can play my knight. That's exactly what he does, alright. If he decides to capture it with the queen, I can capture his queen or my queen. Alright, so now he kicks my bishop back, and my knight back, which is fine. I think I'm gonna play my knight over here. If I play my knight over here, I can only control this square. But if I play my knight over here, I can control this square and this square and this square as well. It's the stronger move. And of course the queen is still defending this these squares. If I move my knight somewhere, the queen will defend these squares as well. Alright, I'm gonna move my knight over here to put pressure on his pawn. I'm not going to capture his pawn, but at least I put some pressure on it, so he can. Okay. Now this is interesting because if I play my pawn, if I push my pawn to this square, he can capture it with a pawn, and I'll be forced to capture it with a knight or a queen, and he will be able to capture my knight or my queen, but don't need to worry about that. Let's just go ahead and get my bishop out of the way. So next turn I can exchange my knight, my king for my rook, which is called castling, and it's basically a move where I get a little nice fortress for my king, but I'll explain that next move. That was an interesting move there. He's got a bit of a board for himself here, but he kind of locked himself here because his more important pieces are not doing anything. except for the bishop, which guards these squares, but the rook is not doing anything, the knight is not doing anything. So okay. So I've got a castle now, which is basically exchanging my king for this rook over here. That's the most basic castle, king side it's called. Just drag your king over to this side and it will exchange positions. Now the rook, the pawns are defending the king. And if, for example, the bishop would go, or the rook would go over here, I can just capture my king. So there's really not much ways you can get checkmated if you castle your king. Well, it's nice going on the offensive. Of course, if he wants to capture this pawn with his bishop, I'm more than happy to trade it, because a pawn for a bishop, that's the most easy trade. So I'm actually going to move my knight over here, going after this pawn and this rook. That's fine, because I can still go after the rook. Alright. And now I'm in a bit of trouble. Just a bit of trouble. What I could do, and what I probably do, is try to find some way to, because I'm going to lose this knight. If I move it here, the pawn will take it. If I move it here, the rook will take it. If I move it here, these two pawns will take it. If I move it here, the king will take it, or the queen. So this knight is lost. What I could do, and if I move it here, the king will take it as well. What I could do is play this knight over here. If he captures this knight, I can capture his rook and still be safe with this knight. If I do this move, I lose my bishop and I cannot capture my bishop back. So I'm gonna do this. See how he reacts to that. Alright, so I took up with the queen. Now I can... Well, I still lose my knight. Unfortunately. So maybe that wasn't the best move in hindsight, but alright. Let's see. He's up a knight. He's gonna be up 2 knights as well. But I could get some material from him. So I could move this knight over here and force him to trade here. The good thing about that move is that it kind of messes up his pawn structure, and with pawn structure I mean this pawn will end up over here on this square because it captures my knight, and then he has 2 pawns just sitting there, and I can just capture those pawns with ease later on. If I go here, he just captures it and there's nothing really I can do about that. here. There's nothing really going on there. So I'm gonna actually do this. I kind of sacrifice my knight for 2 pawns, essentially. So these 2 pawns are just ready to be captured at any moment I want, basically. So that's good. And now, this rook is under attack by my queen. So this knight has to defend this rook. I'm actually going to play this pawn here. My plan is to go here and really control this square. So I'm playing this pawn here right now. I might lose this pawn though. And also there's like a nice little pathway here for my rook or my queen. Because now he's no longer defending the square because he had to capture. Okay, that's fine. I'm actually gonna take this opportunity to defend this square, this pawn. So if I do this, then this will be defended by 3 pieces. So actually let me just go ahead and can't believe I haven't done this yet, by the way. So just do that. Just had to remove ad block on this site because I use the site a lot, so don't want to use ad block on it. But alright. So now I want to do this and actually attack these 2 pawns, because alright, there we go. Alright, now we're getting some captures. Alright, so he doesn't want to fight, huh? Guess I'll take your knight. His knight was undefended. There's nothing that defends this knight, so I could just take it for free. And now things get interesting, for sure. So this knight is defended by the rook, so I can't really capture that. I think I'm gonna move my knight somewhere, my rook somewhere, sorry. And where I'm going to move it is here for now. Because if I move my rook over here, he could actually capture my rook, because that has to defend. So let's say I move my rook here, he moves this out of the way, and maybe if it captures here or just moves it over here or here to capture my rook with his rook. Okay, so let's go after this rook over here. That's fine. If we also capture my rook with this queen, I actually defend it, so I'm more than happy to trade my rook for his queen, for sure. Let's go ahead and capture this pawn right here. Put pressure on his rook, which is undefended as well. This pawn is this pawn is actually defended as well. It's quite nice as well. Alright, so he moves out of the way. It's quite awkward. I cannot go there, I cannot go there. So I could move this rook here and out of the way from the queen, and the king can't go here and can't go here, so he has to go there. Or I just capture his knight. I mean, that's also good because the rook had to move. Okay, I did not see that coming though, have to be honest. Okay, how do I... That's a bit of a mistake. Maybe I should have gone here. That way his king would have moved there and would have been better, but alright. Let's see what we can do here. I know. Nope, that's not gonna work actually. Could move my rook over here. I'm gonna move my rook over here. Because if he captures, I capture back. And otherwise I just basically check him. And go from there. I actually gain control by doing this. So if he captures, I capture back and I go here to attack that. And I can actually gain some material from him. Okay, that's fine. He cannot capture that, so totally fine with that. Let's give the queen something to do as well, right? Let's move the queen over here. Okay. What I'm going to do is... Okay, now I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to move his queen over here, so I cannot have... Well, I do still have this pawn blocking this, but... His queen moves over here. This king is kind of undefended. I'll just move this here. So my king can go here. And I can still put pressure on him. Sure. Wasted move. Alright, now. I could go here or here, put pressure on the king and move it, force it to move, but that's only a check because the king has options. What I could also do is go here and put pressure on this and the queen. Or actually, my bad, I cannot go there because of this. We're gonna go here actually. Yep. Better. Now I actually still put pressure on the bishop and the queen, but he cannot capture that. Alright. Forced to move there. Forced to move there. I mean, it's only one move, so either he does this. Alright. I'm fine with the draw here, by the way. It's like after three of the same move is being made, it's an instant draw. You have to move his bishop here and then here or something. Yeah, I think it's the end now. Unless I go here. Yeah, that's it. GG. Alright, well. That was it for this video. I do hope you learned something at least. Or at least enjoyed the video. That would also be a possibility. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching and have an amazing day, guys.